Hey everyone, welcome back. We're diving deep today, exploring some powerful concepts for self-improvement, and I, for one, am pumped.
Absolutely. Always exciting to unpack these ideas. We're looking at a collection of motivational and insightful writings on personal development. It's really about taking control, right? Shaping your life, not just letting it happen.
Yeah, totally. It's about creating yourself,
Ah,
not just finding yourself, which, by the way, really resonated with me.
makes sense. I mean, who wants to just stumble around hoping to bump into their true self, right? It's
Yeah,
much more empowering to think of it as an active process of creation.
exactly. Like we're not just digging around for some hidden treasure, we're building the treasure chest ourselves.
Love that analogy. And speaking of building, one of the foundational ideas that jumped out was the concept of your social circle's influence.
Oh yeah, you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with thing.
Exactly. It sounds simplistic, but there's real science behind social influence. Researchers even call it social contagion.
Contagion. That sounds kind of intense, like we're catching mindsets from each other.
Well, in a way, yeah. Studies show our networks impact everything from our weight to our voting habits. There's a study, actually, from the New England Journal of Medicine. It found if a friend becomes obese, your chance of becoming obese increases by 57%.
Whoa, that's a big jump. So it's not just about who we hang out with, but who they hang out with too.
Precisely. Even indirect connections, like a friend's friend, can impact us. Your risk of obesity still goes up 20% if your friend's friend becomes obese. Shows how interconnected we really are.
Makes you think, huh, okay, but what if someone's like, my 5 closest people aren't exactly inspiring me right now? What then?
That's where seeking out mentors comes in. And it doesn't have to be some formal arrangement. It could be authors you admire, podcast hosts, anyone whose wisdom resonates with you.
Right, like expanding your circle through books or podcasts, basically.
Exactly. Even if you can't have coffee with someone every week, their ideas can still mentor you. The point is, expose yourself to perspectives that elevate your thinking.
Totally agree. Though I'll admit, sometimes I get stuck in information overload. I learn all this great stuff, but don't always apply it. Any tips for getting out of that rut?
Ah, the classic knowledge action gap. It's a common struggle. I think setting SMART goals is super helpful. Goals that are specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound.
So instead of being vague, like, I want to be more productive, you'd say.
Exactly. You get specific. Like, I'll complete 3 important tasks by noon each day for the next 2 weeks. See how that's measurable, has a time frame, and is achievable.
Oh yeah, that's way more actionable. It's like having a roadmap instead of just wandering around hoping to bump into productivity.
You got it. And speaking of maps, think of habits as the little steps you take along that route, the compound interest of self-improvement.
Ooh, like putting a little money aside each day leads to big savings eventually.
Precisely. Consistent small actions accumulate over time. Whether it's reading for 15 minutes daily, practicing gratitude, or taking a walk, these seemingly small things add up to a huge difference.
And that kind of ties into having a growth mindset, right? It's not just about goals, but how we approach challenges.
100%. A growth mindset means seeing challenges as opportunities, reframing failure as feedback, embracing the discomfort that comes before breakthroughs.
I've always loved that quote. Everything you ever wanted is on the other side of fear. But pushing ourselves takes energy. That's where self-care comes in, right?
It's essential, not selfish at all, like putting on your own oxygen mask first before helping others. Whether it's meditation, exercise, spending time in nature, creative pursuits, these things nourish us.
Even 10 minutes of meditation in the morning helps my focus all day.
Exactly. Find what works for you and make it a routine. And remember, consistency trumps intensity. It's about showing up daily, even when you don't feel like it.
It's like that saying, motivation gets you started, but habit keeps you going.
Couldn't have said it better. And all of this, building good habits, pushing yourself, it's easier when you have a solid foundation of self-love and acceptance.
This makes me think of when I was constantly comparing myself to others. It was exhausting. Only when I started focusing on my own progress and strengths did things shift.
Comparison really is the thief of joy, isn't it? It's in self-acceptance that we can truly flourish.
So true. As we wrap up this deep dive, I want to leave our listeners with a question. What one small action can you take today to start creating the life you desire?
Great question. And remember, this personal growth journey is ongoing. Stay curious, embrace the challenges, never stop learning.
Couldn't agree more. Thanks for joining us, everyone. Until next time.